The following is a Stars and Strikes doubles rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable recent programs.
WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present Stars and Strikes Doubles. Stars and Strikes Doubles is sponsored in part by Somerville Lumber. Stars and Strikes Doubles is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Park Place Lanes here in Windham, New Hampshire, and to Stars and Strikes Doubles for a Sunday afternoon. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy, and we're starting series number 2 right now with last week a couple of the guys moving into the Stars and Strikes Doubles Tournament of Champions, Gary Carrington and Jack Ray, if you missed it, with a huge 448 to open things up.
Yeah, fantastic score, and we got an interesting ladder this week. The next few weeks with some bowlers that have never been with us before, and always interesting to see them match up with the team and see how they communicate with each other as far as the strategy, which we'll go into later on in the show. All
right, and of course prize money at stake as always, and in 3 weeks' time we will be moving another team into the Stars and Strikes Doubles Tournament of Champions, and all those guys will be shooting at that 448 put up last week by Gary Carrington and Jack Ray. Well, without further delay, let's let you meet the bowlers for this first show, and we'll take a look at the ladder after our first break and bring you up to date on who will be coming in the weeks ahead. But first of all, our first team, the number 5 seeded team, Bob Buxton and Reggie Deline.
Okay, on your left, Bob Buxton from Merrimack, Massachusetts, carries an average of 125. His roll-off score was 671, and his partner, Reggie Deline from Needham, Massachusetts, a 125 average also, and his roll-off score 670.
And, of course, Reggie Deline was here in our first Stars and Strikes Doubles series just a few weeks back. So he'll be taking another crack at it today with a new partner, and they will face a new team, our 4th-place team, Bob Mazur and Phil Clough.
Okay, and Bob's been with us before from Dover, New Hampshire, average 122, roll-off score 674, and a newcomer, and probably should give him a few pins because he came a day and a half ago, and from Warren, Massachusetts, way out in the western part of Massachusetts, average 114, and his roll-off score 668.
All right, and of course we've got 3 more teams ahead of these guys, and we'll familiarize you with those names after we take our first break. The prize money at stake, of course, the winner of this show moves on to face our number 3 seeded team next week. We've got 3 strings of Scotch doubles bowling coming up on Stars and Strikes Doubles, and we will get it started right after we take these messages. Don't go away. All right, as promised, here is a look at what is coming up in the weeks ahead. You'll notice that there is a tie for the number 2 spot, Owen Martin and John Maffio, as well as Tom O'Brien and Glenn LeBlanc, deadlocked at 1343, their combined roll-off scores. Even as we speak, Dan Murphy, that tie is being broken. In fact, hopefully we will have the results of that 1-string roll-off at the end of the show, and we'll be able to fill you in on the rest of the ladder because, of course, the loser of that 1-string roll-off will be next week's opponents for the winner of this show today. And then in the number 1 spot, safely there, 3 weeks from today to come in and try and defend that spot, Mike Morrill and Jack Quinn, a couple of guys who have never been here before here on Stars and Strikes. So we look forward to that, and right now we look forward to Reggie Deline getting us started this week here on Stars and Strikes Doubles.
Incredible how close those scores were. 12 pins separating top to bottom, but only a couple pins separating 2nd to 5th. Second to 4th, I should say. Make it a 10 for Reggie.
Reggie Deline, as I alluded to earlier, was here for a couple of weeks in our first series on Stars and Strikes Doubles, teaming up with Pat Pay. The team knocked off Joe Ashline and Dave Richards in their first week, and then were defeated by Don Weatherby and John Maffio in the second week. And yes, that's the John Maffio that's coming back in this series as well. A spare up in the second for Reggie Deline, and 10 spare to start.
An excellent spare it was. Had the 7-10, was able to play both pieces of wood, one to take the 7, one to take the 10. So that always helps getting that first mark up.
Bob Mazur now. And Bob takes them all.
Talk about getting rid of the jitters right away. Well, there you go. Everything but the 4-pin, and then get some wood coming from right to left. And here it comes to take out that 4-pin. And interesting style. Bob is right next to the ball return. Light hit this time. Well, with that 8-pin go, the 7-pin is down. That one is just standing there in the channel. That's considered down. He's got the 8 and the 10 left, and well, he's going to have to go after the cap of that wood. That's the only shot he has. And
it's a 9 fill on the strike.
you heard it from the crowd. Nice try, and it was. Was able to get the 8-pin out of there, but nothing came close to knocking the 10 down.
And now our first look at Bob Buxton. 7, 9, and 10. And that was the fill, of course, on the spare left by Reggie Deline. A lot of wood down there, but not much of it was any help to Bob Buxton on that shot.
Leaves himself the 7 and the 10. Nice 10.
We'll take another crack at that one. That time the wood did help, but unfortunately on the spare shot it wasn't much help.
That looks like a good ball, and it was everything but the 9.
Now that wood has straightened out, but as you can see, it's a long way in front of the 9-pin, and he can get by it, but it's going to be a very fine shot.
If he hits it, the ball is going to fly, too. Let's see what happens.
Got it.
Actually, the wood clipped the 9-pin, just touching it as it went by. Watch the ball first. No chance the ball was going to fly over it. But the wood clips the 9 for the spare. First look at Phil Clough.
First time Phil's been with us here on Stars and Strikes.
It's from my neck of the woods many years ago, Western Massachusetts.
And a big spare for Phil in his first box here.
Here's a fellow, the cluster 5 in the corner. On the opening of the show, I mentioned his average at a 114. Now, I'll tell you something. This guy bowls a lot better than a 114 average when he gets in tournaments and roll-offs. A lot of times that average is deceiving. Make it 2 in a row for Phil Clough.
Back-to-back spares. The team of Mazur and Clough with 3 marks in the first 4 boxes.
And Reggie Deline will fill a spare in the 4th. Time through the middle, looks like it's going to be 5. Now Reggie, a little body English there. He was close and he knew it. Almost cut the 3-pin.
He'll take a 9. 61.5 for the team of Deline and Buxton.
Ooh, just caught it.
Well, the team of Buxton and Deline liking lane 31 so far. They've got 3 marks over on that side. Bob Mazur now filling the mark left by his teammate, and they're still moving. Watch out. It'll be an 8 fill. Nice spare for Bob Mazur. That's 3 in a row for the team. We'll take another look. Just a very gentle shot as he was able to lift the 2-pin up over to the 10. And a 9 drop.
These two teams going at it early in the match. Especially Bob Mazur. He's going to take a real close look at that. They have, well, he's in his 6th frame, They already have 5 marks.
Spare in the 6th, 4 in a row for the team.
Well, I was assuming he was going to make that one for the 5th mark.
I think that was a fair assumption.
Working on a spare, Bob Buxton.
And Bob, big hammer strike on the spare left by Reggie Deline.
No doubt about that one in the 1-3 pocket. Watch the ball spinning, and last minute starts to break, catches the head pin right 3/4. 7-pin, last one to go. And another one. Almost a carbon copy of the last ball. This time only a 9-pin drop. He leaves himself the 2-pin. And he covers for 3 in a row. 111 through 8. Phil Clough will work on a spare.
Team has 4 in a row, 4 marks in a row. And they'll leave 8 on this one.
And 7 and 10. Apologize to the people at home. My voice, I don't know if my voice is changing or I have a cold.
Oh, great shot by Phil Clough. He had to wait for the ball to come back, but it eventually carried for the spare.
I mention this is a TV cold, too. They last weeks.
That's right. But only on Sundays.
That's right. 7 on the Phil. That was a great shot by Phil. His only hope was to hit the wood and have some help from someplace, and the ball came carrying over to clear the 7-pin out. And he's thrown nothing but marks here on
Boy, oh boy.
Stars and Strikes doubles. What a debut.
That is 6 marks in a row for the team. They've only left 1 open frame. And Reggie Deline is coming up now for his final 2.
He on lane 32. Last 2 times, pretty heavy on the head pin. Leaves himself to 3-6, 4-7. He's going to go after the 3-6, I'm sure.
Oh,
yes.
my.
I mentioned the last time he had the 3-pin up. He is a little body English. He thought he might have cut it over. This time, he does catch the 3. And actually into the wood, which was between the 4 and the 7.
What a great shot that was.
Well, a little hop, skip, and a jump, and a strike.
Boy, I'll tell you, we've mentioned before how the double scores tend to be a little lower, but that's certainly not true in this first game today. Wow. Strike in the 10th.
Each team just trying to survive the storm that the other one's putting up on a scoreboard.
Oh, and a double strike. A double strike in the 10th, and he will get another ball.
Mercy.
That's 157 plus a ball.
Can you imagine if these strikes were up in the game a little farther? Doesn't get the full benefit of the double strike because it's in the last frame. Is it a triple?
No, it's an 8 drop, but it's a 165 for the team of Buxton and Deline. What a terrific first game. Boy, they're picking right up where Carrington and Ray left off last week.
Whoa!
Strike by Bob Mazur. That is the 7th mark in a row for the team.
Not to be denied. Here we see the replay of that one in the 1-3 pocket. Just trying to stay with them, and
165 is not going to be enough to lead this match after 1 game, I don't think.
Well, we're going to be awfully close. Well,
much closer than you would hope to be if you're throwing a 165.
That's right.
A 9, finally, an open box for the team, and they take the lead by 2. How about that? 167 to 165. The difference is just 2 after the opening game. We'll be back. We'll cool things off and come back in a minute. All right, before we resume our match here on Stars and Strikes Doubles, we want to remind you that this is the address where you can reach us if you have any questions or comments or criticisms, or perhaps there's a dispute that's arisen in your bowling league and you'd like Dan to settle it.
Oh, geez.
Dan is the guy who will settle it for you. And so this is the address you should write to if you have any questions or comments about bowling or about Stars and Strikes Doubles in particular. Stars and Strikes doubles, WNDS TV 50, 50 Television Place, Derry, New Hampshire, 03038. And I always say this, it's like part of the program, but I do want to just mention, for those of you who are wondering why we don't mention all of the letters on the air, there just isn't enough time to get to all of them. But we do try and get to the, well, we get to the ones that are real funny or real important or real, you know, that touch us in some way, and we like to get to as many as we can. So Phil Clough is all set to get us started now in game 2. What a first game we had.
Unbelievable.
Hope you didn't tune in late.
Because this fellow hasn't had an open frame yet, has he?
No, he hasn't. He's 4 for 4. 4 spares. Make it 5 for 5. That is 9 marks for the team of Mazur and Clough. First open for Phil.
What a bum, huh?
Oh. Phil Clough finally misses.
23 after 2. If you just tuned in, you missed a great opening game. 167-165. Bob Mazur, Phil Clough leading by 2.
Bob Buxton now. Watch out. That 10-pin will stay, and that piece of wood is legal.
And it's in a dangerous spot. I think he's probably going to try to get by that piece of wood. Well, let's see where the second piece comes in. That's tempting also. I'd go right at the pin.
Ooh, capped the wood and drove it right by.
I believe he's trying to get by it. Just pulled a little bit to the left.
And it's a 10 box. Four horsemen left.
That would be the 1, 2, 4, and 7. Could be on the outside. Yes.
Oh, the team of Buxton and Deline stays perfect on lane 31. They've marked every time, and of course Reggie Deline's double strike came on lane 31 also.
So it's no doubt that like to bowl the rest of the match on lane 31. No, 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 boys.
Bob Mazur.
Oh, half wish to the left, and then he goes through the middle. Still looking at 5 pins. 3, 6, 10 on the right with the 4, 7 on the left. Trying to bail out with an 8 or a 9. Make it a 9.
Bob Mazur from Dover, New Hampshire. Works at Vision's Beauty Supply, does most of his bowling at the Bowlaway in Rochester, New Hampshire. And he's left to the head pin. And he'll take a shot at the 4 horsemen right side.
Just missing the head pin.
Couple of 9 boxes for Bob. That's the first time in this match that a bowler has gone up and thrown 2 open frames.
And with this fill, Reggie could take the lead. Anything over 5. That's over 5. 9 fill on the spare. And looks like the wood is good. I think he's just going to plow right into the wood.
Yep.
Not a bad choice there. I'd rather shoot at something that's about a foot long than something that's 2 inches wide. Fill on the spare for Reg on his favorite lane, or their favorite lane.
Yeah, they could be looking at their first open here over on 31 unless Reggie converts this. Let's see. Oh, my. Why even mention it? It's an automatic. Wow, great shot. We will take a break. After that terrific shot, 3 marks in a row for the team of Buxton and Deline. They have taken the lead. We're almost at the halfway point. Stars and Strikes doubles continues after this. Phil Clough, box number 5, game 2. The team of Mazur and Clough has slipped behind here in the early frames of game 2. Oh, Phil Clough has him moving. He'll leave the 8-pin.
Couple of pieces of wood, one on either side of that 8-pin. I would say that should be too much of a problem.
It isn't. The 10th mark for the team. 10 in 15 boxes, not bad. But that's 1 fewer than Buxton and Deline have.
That one kind of hung out to the right. Let's see, he's going to get half a dozen. No, make it 5. He'll shoot at the 4 horsemen left and the 9-pin.
Yes. Fine shot. Well, Phil Clough had that one open frame in the second, but other than that, he is perfect on the day with marks. And that was a nice shot.
Well, Bob Buxton try to keep their streak going at 3 spares in a row so far this second game.
Off target to the left, and Joe Paglia will get his first workout of the day. He's going to go down and check out that piece of wood that is stopped just to the right of the head pin. See if that is legal or not. My guess is it isn't.
I think your guess is right.
Yep, he's right on top of it. That will be taken out. So I'm not sure how much easier it makes the shot. It might have been even better if it hadn't stayed. But Joe was making that exciting. The 1, 8, and 10. Having the wood there might have helped, but
and we'll make it a 9. 70 through 5. And it's a 12-pin advantage for Buxton and Deline. 14-pin advantage this game. And 12 overall.
Right through the center for the spread eagle.
Now that one broke a little sharper at the end on Bob than it has throughout the match. A little more lift on the ball. Broke sharp and right through the middle. Spread eagle.
Well, he gave that a nice run.
He certainly did. He cut the 3-pin and went in between the 2 and the 4 and came back and knocked the 4-pin down. Well, it gives the team of Bob Mazur and Phil Clough a chance to climb back in. Down by 11, they'll cut into that lead with wherever Bob drops on this ball. Wants one more.
That looked like it was going to be even worse than it turned out, but...
And he spun the 6-pin around. Now he's just going to play the wood in front of the 6 and see if he can snap it off the right sidewall. Not to be. But they'll reduce the lead down to 3 pins. Okay, I believe maybe it may even be 2 pins here. Let's see. No, 3 pins.
Each team with 11 marks. And that indicates how close it is right now. Well, that was an interesting hit, kind of thin.
And he cleared the 7 out, those 7 pins out pretty fast, but as they started to fall, nothing touched the 6, the 9, or the 7 pins. Clip the wood and see what happens.
Goes. Fine shot for Bob.
Fine shot is right. Watch the ball. Ball actually hits the 6-pin into the 9. Great shot by Bob Mazur, and hello, Reggie. Wow.
All of a sudden, it's catching. Everybody is punching through the center.
Great effort.
Oh, he got it! What a great shot by Reggie Deline, and it looked like the 4 and 7 might both stay up.
When he hit it, I said, that's a great effort, because I thought he had a chance. It went right between the 4 and the 7, and it clipped enough of the 7 to tip it forward. Just the time factor.
Oh,
that's
boy.
a shame. That's a shame.
There ought to be a law when you make a shot like that. An automatic 8 or 9, Bill.
The degree of difficulty. Well, he works out of it with a 10. Well, 94 with the ball to come for Phil Clough. Final 2 frames of their second game. And you heard somebody say chew. Let me explain that. That's when, in terminology of bowling, you're way off target and you just want the best thing possible to happen. So you want each pin to chew on the other one to knock it down.
This may go. Let's see. Nope.
Yes.
Oh, yes, it does go. Spare for Phil Clough. Well, Phil just can't miss, except for that one time.
Well, if it hit it anywhere but right on that red stripe, it probably wouldn't have gone, but just enough to topple it over. And that's making a break count. 8, Phil. No chew necessary there, because that was right in the 1-3 pocket.
Through 8, the lead for Mazur and Clough is 1 pin, and there is another spare for Phil Clough, and he will stay up there to fill it, of course, in the 10th. This is incredible. Phil Clough has now rolled 10 boxes. 9 of them have been spares. And he throws 7 more on that one for a 135 and a 2-string total of 302. Now the question is, will that be enough to be in the lead?
That's pretty good when considering in the league a couple weeks ago I had 321 for 3.
You've just made a lot of league bowlers very happy by telling that story. Well, geez, if Dan Murphy can get 321.
It happens. It's a great game. Really didn't enjoy it that much that night, but
greater some days than others.
that's right. Nice try by Bob Buxton. Almost converted the same spare that Reggie Deline was able to knock down in the first game. A 3-6-4-7. It's a 9 box at a 110, and quickly the lead goes back to Bob Mazur and Phil Clough, leading by 8 in the game and 10 overall. And could be higher unless they can match the mark. Well, they've matched the mark. They got a strike up there. Anything over 7, you would cut into that 10-pin lead. Good ball by Bob Buxton.
Bob lives in Merrimack, Mass, with his wife Bonnie. Bob works at AT&T, does most of his bowling at St. Joseph's in Haverhill.
Whoa, that's a double.
Oh, double strike in the 10th again. Second game in a row that the team of Buxton and Deline has thrown a double strike in the 10th. Wow.
Well, they can regain the lead. It's incredible.
130 plus a ball.
Anything over 7, they'll regain the lead. They get a triple.
3 strikes in a row in the 10th for Bob Buxton and a 140 for the team. And how about those scores after 2? Oh, this is going to be a terrific finish. Don't go away. 305 to 302. We've got a game to go. Stay with us. Third game here on Stars and Strikes Doubles. What a match we've got going right now.
Unbelievable. 305 to 302.
Reggie Deline and his teammate Bob Buxton leading by 3.
Can you imagine if the triple strike and the double strike they finished the first and second games with, as another spare, were moved up in the game? So how many extra pins they could have had.
Right.
The scores would be unbelievable.
That's 16 marks now for the team of Buxton and Deline. 8 Phil on the spare. He'll shoot at the 2 and the 4.
It's going to be a shame to have to tell one of these teams that they lost with these scores.
Reggie Deline from Needham, Mass. Works at General Mass Marketing Company. Does most of his bowling at the Fairway in Natick. Hanover Bowl in Hanover. And Reggie throws up 29, or rather 27 in the first two. Now, Phil Clough leading off the third game here for the team of Mazur and Clough, and this goes back to something we spoke about in earlier weeks here on Stars and Strikes doubles. One of the little twists that we've thrown into this Scotch doubles format, Dan, is that at the beginning of the third game, the teams can decide who is going to lead off. In other words, they can switch the order if they want to go with the hot bowler, and that is apparently what Phil Clough and Bob Mazur have elected to do, because they decided that Phil should start and end this game.
Not a bad choice the way he's been bowling, that's for sure. Right back in the pocket. He hasn't had a strike yet, but he's had some great spares, and this will be a great one if he can convert the 5, the 7, and the 10. And I'll tell you, today nothing is sacred down there. You just expect each one of them to go. Let's see what he can do with the wood.
Oh, it goes, of course. Well, that is 10 marks in 12 boxes for Phil Clough now.
All of a sudden, great spares are becoming routine.
Wow. Bob Buxton now. Pulls it to the left.
All right. Get a little wood there to help you. I'll fit up.
4 horsemen right, 1, 3, 6, 10. He's got lots of help. If he's on the head pin and not too full, he should convert this.
There it is. It just collapses down into the corner. That's 17 marks now for the team of Deline and Buxton. Unless something very surprising and shocking happens here the rest of this third game, it looks like we'll have a double 400 series. How often does that happen in doubles competition?
The way we're going, they're not going to be small 400s either.
If you tuned in late, Buxton and Deline with a 165 and then a 140. Mazur and Clough with a 167 and a 135. And Bob Buxton has to settle for the 8 box in the 4th.
Bob Mazur working on a spare in the 2nd.
It'll be a 6 fill. Through completed frames, the 2nd, the lead is 5 for Buxton and Deline. But Bob Mazur is opposite a spare here in the 3rd, and he is really going to have to work to make this happen. A lot will depend on where that wood ends up.
His only chance, I guess, is to catch the wood and see what happens.
Oh, my. Something like that?
Wow, what a clinic. What a clinic. Some great shots by all 4 bowlers.
Use this show as an instructional video.
Absolutely.
On the mark. 9. So they gain 2 pins on the fill.
I was about to say, with all the marks, it's surprising we haven't got more strikes, but when I think back, we've got 5 of them in 2 boxes. I want to shoot right at this 10 pin.
He's got it. We will take a break. 3 marks in a row for the team of Mazur and Clough. This match is as close as it's been right from the start. High scores and very, very tight with 6 frames to go. There's lots more excitement. Don't go away. Stars and Strikes doubles continues in a minute. We have 6 frames to go in this one. And, well, we have at least 6 frames to go in this one, I should say.
Well, another testy spare for Reggie. The 2, the 4, and the 6. Piece of wood in between the 2 and the 6. He's going to have to, ideally, cut the 2 pin over, but...
Oh, he did it too well.
Actually, maybe the wood in between probably hurt him a little bit and threw the 2 pin in front of the 6.
Dan, I know you and I both want to take a minute here to express our prayers and hopes for Peter Flynn. As of when we are taping this edition of Stars and Strikes doubles, Peter has been admitted to Methuen Hospital and is having a tough go, and we certainly want to tell him and his family, his wife Debbie, and their sons Sean and Craig, that our thoughts are with them, and we're wishing him well.
That echoes my sentiments exactly, Doug. And of course, with our taping schedule, we hope by the time this show airs that Peter will be up and back on his feet. But our thoughts are with him and the entire Flynn family.
Reggie Deline knocks the single for a spare in the 6th.
And Phil Clough will fill a spare in the 4th. Got to hurry with that one. You could see his follow-through came around the side of him. He knew the ball was let go a little prematurely. He trying to fight it with body English to get it up there. And again, just a little late delivering that ball. 65.
This match is dead even. 5 boxes to go.
Incredible match. Incredible match. One of the most exciting matches that in our years we've been involved with, as far as tightness and the size of the score. It's just incredible. And the fact that it's mixed doubles, men's doubles, but it's a Scotch doubles format.
Dan, this is the best match we've had in the entire 5-week history of Stars and Strikes doubles. This is amazing.
Yeah. Phil trying to cover the 4-pin. Now he's been late with his delivery a couple times and missing to the right. He's not missing that time, though. As soon as he let the ball go, I'm almost directly behind him. I knew he got the ball out in the lane a little better than the last few boxes, and they matched the mark put up already by Buxton and Deline. So we're going down to the last 4 frames, dead even, both working on marks.
18 marks for each team so far.
Neither team wants to flinch now. Well, off target, but let's see. Not a bad drop for a 7 on the spare and a makeable spare. 1, the 6, and the 7, and he's got some help in between. I guess if there was a problem pin, it might be the 7.
Missed it.
Hold it to the left. Here, Reggie, get the sticks. In other words, every ball counts now. Get as many as you can. Well, problem wasn't the 7, it was the 6. Now, 1 more box, assuming we don't have a tie. Bob Buxton's day will be completed. And it looks good.
Oh, big strike.
Well,
that is the 7th strike for the team.
You see the replay, no doubt about that one. Big ball for Bob Mazur on the spare.
Just misses the head pin to the left.
So he gets 6. So that was opposite an open frame. 1, 3, 6, 10. That's 4 horsemen to the right. Then he'll have to contend with the strike already up. Looks good. A little heavy.
We've received word, by the way, Dan, that Owen Martin and John Maffio have won that 1-string roll-off that was going on simultaneously to our taping this show. So Owen Martin and John Maffio will be the number 2 seed. And Tom O'Brien and Glenn LeBlanc, the team they defeated in that roll-off, will be the number 3 seeds, and they'll be here next week. And Bob Mazur leaving the 6-pin.
It's a 1-pin advantage for Buxton and Deline. They have a strike in the 8th. This will be a spare if Bob can convert this. And we're going to go 1 pin apart, the final 2 frames. Both teams working on a mark. The advantage, of course, to Deline working on the strike. He has 2 balls in his fill. Final 2 frames. What a nail-biter.
It's really a shame that one of these teams is going to have to be eliminated after this, because we have seen some tremendous bowling here by all 4 bowlers. Again, this is the strike fill. It'll be an 8. 106 through 8. They're already over 400. Both teams over 400 already.
And that'll give the lead, or I should say lead, temporarily anyways, a 9-pin lead for Buxton and Deline. And to force them to get another mark, Reggie would have to get one. Well, what happened? This is the last frame. They usually get strikes. That close to one, though. And I'll tell you, that 4-pin looks mighty tiny down there.
Ooh, when he went by.
Just pull it to the left.
Wow.
Gave it a good run. Well, he just kind of picked that last ball up and threw it. I would have took a little extra time. That's an important pin right there.
Yep. All right, 124 for a 429 for the team of Buxton and Deline. That means that Mazur and Clough need 128.
Well, he got a 5 fill. That means he's going to have to convert either this mark or have a mark in the 10th.
Not that one. Phil Clough may win the prize for coming to us from the longest distance. Warren, Mass, as Dan mentioned, way out in the western part of the state. Phil and his wife Diane have 3 children, Eric, Quentin, and Deanna. Phil works at designer Warren Pumps, does a lot of his bowling at the State Bowl in Springfield, and it all comes down to this last box.
Needs a mark.
How about that? Another 4-pin. Must convert this for the spare.
2 would be a tie. Spare 2 would be a tie. Spare 3 would be a win.
Comes down to
right
this.
on
He's
it.
right there.
He's right
Phil
on it.
Clough. Well, how about that for the strategy paying off, too?
That's right. He
For
was
the
the hot
team.
bowler.
That's right. Clough and Mazur are electing to have Phil Clough start and finish this 3rd game. He needs 3 on it now to win.
And he's thinking, give me one of those 3, the head pin, and I'll take my chances. Uh-oh. Well,
You got it,
missed
though.
the head pin, but he got, whoops,
bye.
think of this. To
It's
correct that, it's 7 on the spare, not 6. I'll correct that.
So it's going to be 434 to 429. How about that for a match? First week of the series here on Stars Strikes. First week. Oh, who knows what'll happen after this. We'll come back and talk to the bowlers in a minute. Well, I hope you were here for the entire hour. That was some terrific bowling by these 2 teams. Our first week of this ladder series here on Stars and Strikes Doubles. We have 3 weeks still to come, so who knows what kind of scores we'll be seeing for those, but this one was a dandy. In case you missed that final score, we had a little problem with the computer there at the end, but 434 for Bob Mazur and Phil Clough, a 132 final game, and Bob Buxton and Reggie Deline with a 429 and still losing by 5. That is incredible. Let's have a big round of applause for, first of all, Bob Buxton and Reggie Deline. 5th place money just doesn't seem to be appropriate for you guys. You can split those amongst yourselves, splitting $150 for 5th place, and it just doesn't seem fair with a 429. You guys were really rolling. I don't know if that's ever happened, that you could throw a triple strike and a double strike in the same match and still not have enough.
They just kept coming back at us, and we were lucky to, to do as well as we did with the strikes at the end, and we stayed close, but Phil threw that last mark in the end, and that did it.
I got a feeling, Reggie, if you guys had bowled 10 strings against each other, it would have been the same thing. It would have been just a few pins at the end.
Oh, yeah, it would have been. But the only thing, if the triple strike was in the middle of the string,
Right.
it would have been a higher score than,
Right.
But Phil was throwing a good ball today.
That's right, and of course they made the change at the end to get Phil up there more often in the final string, and it turned out to pay off.
Yeah, they both came back with the marks when they had to, both of them.
Well, we congratulate both of you for getting here again, and we hope to see you again soon. Congratulations, terrific bowling.
Thanks a lot, sir.
All right, Bob Buxton and Reggie Deline, thanks very much. And wow, frustrating to throw a great score like that and just not have enough. But how about a round of applause also for our winners, Bob Mazur and Phil Clough. We'll bring them up, and of course, no checks for you guys yet, although you earned them, certainly. Why don't you guys turn around and face the camera here so we can get you both on. Congratulations. That was a terrific match.
Oh, it's great bowling. Great bowling. I'm telling you, we put a little strategy move and let Phil start the last string because he seemed to be really on fire, and it paid off.
Let's talk about that strategy a little bit, Phil, because that's something we have discussed here on the program. But you're the first team, I believe, to use it to actually change the order going into that 3rd game. But you must have felt comfortable today.
It was a Bob's suggestion, and I went along with it.
And then, obviously, going into the 10th, you knew exactly what you needed, right?
Yeah, I knew I needed a mark. Yeah.
Little scary going after the single there with knowing that you got to have it.
Yeah, I just closed my eyes and threw the ball.
Well, again, congratulations. Terrific score for you guys. And I don't know if you heard while we were on the air, but Tom O'Brien and Glenn LeBlanc were the runners-up in that one-string roll-off, so they'll be your opponents next week. So we'll be looking for more of the same then. Congratulations to both of you guys. Terrific. Thanks very much. This applause is for you. And now let's take a look at our ladder so that we can bring you up to date on what's happening, and we'll give you again the information, again, that one-string roll-off between Tom Martin and John Maffio on one side, and rather Owen Martin and John Maffio on one side, Tom O'Brien and Glenn LeBlanc on the other side, and Dan Murphy in, and you have the results.
Right. They bowled a terrific game, 101. 101. It was a tie. They bowled 2 extra frames, and team of Owen Martin and John Maffio won 20-19, although they did have a spare the last frame of the 2-box roll-up, but they didn't need to fill that spare, so they won by a pin.
All right, so that roll-off result was reflected in the ladder that you just saw, with the team of Martin and Maffio taking the number 2 spot. As for the team of Tom O'Brien and Glenn LeBlanc, they are the number 3 seeded team, and they will join us next week to be the opponents for Bob Mazur and Phil Clough, who have got to be feeling pretty good about things right now.
Well, they were here to watch Bob Mazur and Phil Clough roll that terrific score, both bowlers, both teams. So they know what they have to do next week.
All right, and we know what we have to do. We have to say goodbye. We hope you'll join us next Sunday at 12 noon. First for Candlepin Stars and Strikes, and then at 1 for Stars and Strikes doubles. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole TV50 Sports crew, Doug Brown, so long, everybody, from Park Place Lanes.
Munich, 1972. The world was shocked by the murder of 11 Israeli athletes. Prime Minister Meir vowed to track down each faceless terrorist and make sure justice was done. This is Kimberly Carson. Coming up next on Movie Watch, Stephen Bauer and Michael York play the leaders of Meir's hand-picked commando unit in the intense drama, Sword of Gideon. Join me for Movie Watch next.